What's up, MMP fam? MMP fam, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen this ending. This is, I'm gonna start from the end, then we're gonna work our way through the game. Look at all these hugs Kelsey Mitchell is getting at the end of this game. Look at this. I mean, take a good look at this. You got Clark coming up to hug her. I mean, a nice embrace. And then you have Enrique waiting on her, and then you have Paige coming over, and then you have Kuir. Everybody's coming up. Not that it's unusual. Okay, not that it can't happen. It's just unusual that it happened, because when I watch most endings, everybody's walking toward their bench to get into their huddle. This was the first game where I actually saw these teams. Well, let's say in this game, the Dallas Wings made a special point to come over and hug Kelsey Mitchell after this game. Now, she did have a good game, but so did the Dallas Wings. And we'll get into that. But I just wanted to point this out because I thought this was super, super, super unusual for an ending of a game, in my opinion. Now, you all leave a comment, let me know what you think, because it looked odd to me when I seen it. Now, not that it can happen, not that it did happen, not that it shouldn't happen, but look at this. Take a good look at this, because how often do you see this at the end of games? No, I'm not gonna get into the semantics of it all, but if you're gonna do this, do it every game. Don't start something just because. Do it every game. Do this every game to show some camaraderie amongst the teams. Like, it's just not all CC hate, because that's all I see. Okay, MMP fam, let's take a look at this let's take a look at the stats, because you know my metrics: missed free throws, missed layups, turnovers. Missed free throws, missed layups, turnovers. Those are the three things that I look at. Well, let's start. It was a 6-point game. Lead went back and forth. Fever did not play their best game whatsoever. There was some great standouts. I'm not going to take anything away from the Dallas Wings. Now, if you think about it, Shepherd didn't play the last game when they played in they played in Indiana. Shepherd didn't play, they didn't say what was wrong with it, and I don't believe in any of these excuses anymore. These are phantom injuries. Now they're saying Fudd is out for the whole season. I don't know what's going on with that. This whole W thing is so unusual. One, they can't even tell you what a woman is, and now that's a whole nother issue within itself. But back to the game. Let's look at the field goal percentage. I'm going to start with the Fever. The Wings put up, look at this, 6 more shots than the Fever. Do you know how many shots the Fever normally gets per game when it's not the watch the paint dry offense? They got up 66 shots. That's low for the Fever. This is a typical Stephanie White watch the paint dry offense. When you see the Fever shooting 66 shots, 66, the Fever normally get in the upper 70s. And I don't want to say well into the 80s, but to the low 80s, upper 70s, 77, 78 shots a night. I mean, on a good night, when they scoring 100 and something points, they shooting in the high 70s, 80s. And if you throw in the turnovers, they could have shot possibly in the 90s. This is super, super, super low for the Fever. Typical Stephanie White offense. See, when you get this number of shots up, you have to be efficient. You have to be efficient when you're getting up only 66 shots for the whole game with a 30-second, 24-second shot clock. You got to get your shots up, and you got to get a look at the basket. You got to get a look every trip down the floor. The shooting percentages for a WNBA game, low. 41. Let me recant that. 41% from the field is not bad for a WNBA game. Well, let me take that back. It is. Because normally the teams are shooting over 50% in the WNBA. 50%. Watch the stats when y'all pay attention to this. I pay attention to this so you don't have to. The Fever shot 41%. They were 7 of 23 from the three. From 30%. You're shooting 41% overall from the field, 30% from the threes. Now, the free throws, they not bad. You'll say, wow, well, the Dallas missed a lot of free throws, but they shot one more. Remember my metric now. Remember what I say. It's not, don't get caught up on the foul. It's when you hear the whistle. There were some unusual whistles tonight in tonight's game where I'm going to show you where there was a lot of contact on the Fever, no call in the paint. No call. And then you barely touch the wings and they blowing the whistle for and one and all of this stuff. Let's keep going. Free throw percentages for the Fever was regular. That's how they should shoot every night. Rebounds, not a huge disparity. Not a huge disparity, but nonetheless a disparity. Remember, I don't know why they don't play the big girl. The player they just signed. Get her in there. Who's playing hella D that she can't get no PT? Nobody's playing like Billings has her moment. Y'all just benched her. KK is coming along. KK still processes stuff a little slow, but she's coming along. You need a veteran in there, a veteran presence in the paint. That girl is a presence in the paint. She is going to disrupt shots in that paint. And if you want to put a button on this game, again, this guy, Jose Fernandez, is a good coach. I say he's better than what we have. And all you Stephanie White apologists, I'm not hanging this L on Stephanie tonight. She did get out coached, but I'm not hanging this L on Stephanie tonight now. I may get into it another game. Look at that. 17 assists for the Fever. 17 assists? That's weak. That's a weak night for the Fever. The steals were there. That girl Kuir, she went crazy on the blocks. Absolutely crazy. Now look at the turnovers. That's where you want to be. So metrics wise, turnovers weren't bad. Free throws weren't bad. Missed layups. CC would be a walking double-double every game if her teammates, I'm talking about the starters now. I ain't talking about players off the bench. If the starters would hit that doggone layups, it blows my mind. It chaps my hide to see Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and sometimes Billings, sometimes Hull blow layups. I'm talking point blank. I ain't talking no like that circus shot Kelsey threw up in the paint, back over her head. Great shot. Don't know how in the hell she made it, but great shot. I ain't talking about shots like that. I'm talking about point blank, Angel Reese type stuff. That's what I call it, smoking layups. But y'all smoking so many layups, y'all borderlining on the Angel Reese layup issues now. I know y'all don't want to be labeled that. So again, they could points in the paint. Now that's a disparity. Fast break points. They're only 6. I know I'm jumping around, but only look at the fact 6 points the whole night. That means that either the Dallas was getting back after baskets. They weren't giving up a lot of uncontested layups. You know how CC likes to push the tempo. That's where pressing 94 feet makes a difference. See, that's coaching. That's what you're dealing with is coaching. Now, we're going to jump over to CC stats here in this next clip because 10 points ain't going to cut it for CC. That you're our superstar. I don't know what the offense was like for Stephanie, but 10 points is not going to cut it for CC. Timpson, 34 minutes, 11 points. 4-7 from the field, not bad. Boston, 29 minutes, 14 points, 5-11 from the field, 0-2 from the three. Now, Stephanie wants to make Boston this hub player. Everybody want to be CC. Look how the bigs in the league have changed their game to be like more like CC. They want to jack threes now. It's crazy. Everybody want to hate on the girl for everything that she's done for the league, but everybody want to mimic and mirror her game. Everybody want to shoot threes now. Look at Kuir. Whether she been working on her shot, because I don't follow the wings like that. She had a huge game. She hit huge shots. The girl only had 11, I think. What is it? Kuir. She only had 11 points. 4 of 8 from Kuir. Yeah, 24. No, 34. Yeah, Kuir. 4 of 8 from the field. 2 of 6 from the three. Now, I thought she hit more than 2 threes. She only hit 2 threes. I thought she hit more than that. That stat can't be right. That can't be right. Kuir. Yeah, I don't know about that. That may I thought she hit more than 2, but if they say 2, I'm gonna go over that. But you know how shaky the stat person is for the WNBA. Now, back to CC. Look at my girl. Come on, CC. 35 minutes, 4-15 from the field, 10 points. I saw CC miss three wide open looks. Now, CC, you ain't going to get good looks every night. And the 3 that you did get, you didn't knock them down. Now, I got to give the UConn players credit. Fee, Kayla McBride, Clark, you don't see them missing a lot of open threes. I'm just saying, I'm just calling it out like it is. You know, I pay attention to stuff like this, so you don't have to. You don't see a lot of these UConn players blowing wide open threes. That's what makes the Lynx so dangerous. When you paying attention to Miles and she kicks out to a wide open feed, she draining that. A clean look, if you see them UConn players blowing open threes, they having a tough night from the field. Now, can we expect CC to be stellar every night? That's a question. That's a legitimate question to ask. You know, the 5 games? I think they got like 5 games in 9 days or something like that. I forgot the exact the breakup on the days in the game, but did that catch up with them? Is that starting to catch up with them because they playing like every other night? I know they pushing up on this dead period where they gonna go play in this FIBA. The USA team gonna go play in these FIBA World Games, and that's gonna be like a little break in the season. It's gonna be an additional All-Star break, but this is gonna be like an Olympic break. Yeah, Hull, 25 minutes, 9 points. She kind of sort of had a good game. We need double figures out of our starter. All the starters should be in double figures. Now, you had Mitchell with 37 points. With 35 minutes, 37 points. 4 of 7 from the three. Now, the only concern with Timpson does give you more athleticism. Phenomenally more athleticism. But she doesn't spread the floor. No one is going to guard. When she's above the arc, why do you even have her out there above the arc? Nobody is intimidated by Timpson being above the arc. Nobody. Any coach with half a brain is not going to tell this player to give a lot of attention to Timpson above the arc out there. They're going to fade back and double and double. That you creating a double team when you put Timpson out that far away from the basket. You creating a problem. You're not solving one. You're creating one. Yeah, 10 points. If Clark hits 20, this is a closer game. If she hits her normal numbers, 24, this is a different game. Let me back up there. It's a different game. 10 points. We got to have more than, I don't know if that was this a Stephanie White offense, cater to Mitchell, cater to Boston. Was that why CC didn't get her numbers? Because the 3 open looks she had that I counted, I didn't even keep a solid count of the layups missed. There were layups. I want to say 4, at least 4. It could have been more. I can name at least 4. Now the one miss Boston had, she was fouled by Shepard. I'm going to show y'all that play when I get to it. Boston is driving into the flame, bumped by Shepard, tries to throw up a shot over her shoulder, and it didn't even come close to making it. I was as disappointed at her trying to get away a shot like. Now she did hit a similar shot earlier, so there were some non-calls for the Fever. This refereeing crew, certified Clark Fever haters, especially that woman. I may have to show you another old video. That's the same woman that called. What was that call during that game? It was the most ridiculous. It was like a flagrant foul. They went and created on I think it was CC. I have to go back and look at that. It seems like the Fever gets. They just can't get a fast shake. That little bald-headed dude, he looked like a one of them FIBA, like a FIBA reject on the official. I'm like, who is this dude? Where is he? Who is he? Number 8, and the other sister. I really don't have a lot of confidence in the sisters. You know, it's one thing that the non-colored women in this league, they just anti-CC. I have never. When you have this ideology permeating throughout the league, on the floor, in the league front office, in all of these front offices, it just permeates throughout the league. It cannot be a good look because some women do not know how to compartmentalize their personal feelings to the extent they can keep it off the floor. They can't do that. Women not built. Ladies, I'm sorry to hit you like this. Y'all not built like that. Y'all carry grudges. Oh, y'all carry some grudges. And if y'all don't like this girl because of what, if you have all of these people that don't like CC, how many have the capacity to think for themselves rather than be reprogrammed by what other people think? And now you don't like the girl, and she's not even in your circle of influence, your sphere of influence. She doesn't even cross paths with you in your daily away from the court life. You don't see her. You only see her on the court. So how could you negatively be impacted by her life? It's only what you see on the floor and what you hear in the fake WNBA news. They don't like the girl. You see that I'm sorry to have to jump tracks, but you see how they wanted to say we need to get back to talking about basketball and stop making this right politics. You all been making it politics since the girl was drafted. Y'all always got something to say about her. You know, she can't argue with the refs. Everybody else crashing out talking to the refs. But when she does it, it's a problem. What's Angel Reese's favorite line? Oh, when they do it, you know, it's not a problem. But when we do it, yeah, that's that kind of crap. But see, only certain people can get away with that. That girl was tackled by Odyssey Sim. Yeah, I have never seen a player tackled on the floor of on a WNBA or NBA basketball floor. You can't tackle people on the hardwood. CC was tackled by Odyssey Sim. Now I noticed they didn't show that. They didn't put that play in the replay. I don't know how some of y'all get that play. I guess y'all got all 22 or all 10. I don't know how the replays is for the WNBA. The girl got tackled. Literally tackled. And you heard the coach, his game plan was to keep the ball out of CC's hand because he said she's that dangerous. That's Jose Fernandez giving CC her props. Isn't it amazing how the opposing coaches give CC her flowers? But you know who can't? She just can't bring herself to it because she's worried about the feelings of professionals. Everybody on this team that under contract should be a professional. You hate y'all transformational player. You hate the face of the league. Y'all in the same uniforms. You got an issue with your teammate. Can you go to her and talk to her about it and squash it for the good of the team, for the good of the chemistry, for the good of the camaraderie of the team? Can you do that? Or y'all just gonna sit over there and sulk like y'all do and secretly hate? That's crazy. That is crazy. You only got so many more games left for the playoffs coming around. And if y'all got any animosity, y'all need to squash that before the playoffs. Matter of fact, you need to squash it before this break. Y'all gonna have a nice time out. I mean, what is it, 2 weeks? Almost? Roughly 2 weeks? When I saw that break in the schedule, I was like, what the hell is going on? Then I realized that y'all gonna have that fever break. Strange, but the schedule is what the schedule is. Y'all got to clean this up, Fever. Dallas is a good team, but they not that good. And you all got to put up more than y'all got to get near 80 shots a night. Your turnovers was 9 turnovers ideal. They didn't turn over the ball either. This was a good game where teams weren't giving away plays. A turnover is a taken opportunity. Look at the rim. Taken opportunity, obviously TO turnover, but it's a taken opportunity to get a look at the rim. You didn't get a shot up. That's 9 shots you didn't get up. Y'all didn't even get a look at the rim on that possession. That's 9 possessions. And when you running the paint dry offense, y'all got to be efficient. Y'all got to take the best looks. If you're only going to get 66 shots up, 66? That's below average that's way below average for the Fever. And that's a typical watch the paint dry Stephanie White offense. Oh my God. If somebody don't do something soon, Stephanie White, I'm not blaming you for tonight, Stephanie, but you have got to do better. 66. That's 2012 crap. We don't need that. This is a new generation, whole new game. The Wings got over 70 shots. Y'all came close. You got to get up 70 every night. Let this girl run the offense, Stephanie. Your offense is debilitating. That paint dry offense is debilitating for this team. Now, I don't know if Billings was now I know Billings had moments where she wasn't hitting her shots, but at least she spreads the floor. With Kayla out there, yes, you get more athletic play, but you're crowding the paint. And I don't know, again, strategically, that takes away from CC's game. When the floor is not spread. When you got 5 of everybody around the arc, dangerous, that can hit from out there, that's a different defense that you running, unless they're in a zone. That's a totally different defense. But when you put KK in there, you giving up, you clogging up the paint. So you got to fix that, Stephanie. Whoever, Austin, whoever in charge of that, y'all got to judiciously go between KK and Billings. I don't know what the beef is with Billings but she at least is a threat to shoot the 3. And that's all you need is the possible threat to shoot the 3, because she does knock them down, not at a high clip, but she does knock them down enough to where someone has to come out there. You can't just give her wide open looks. She will knock most of those down. I don't know what her 3-point shooting percentage is as of this video, but that's something I'll get into either later in this, possibly the next video. We'll pay more attention to that. But that's all I have for you on this late recap. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.
2-0 Indiana after the free throws. This is Coulier getting the start off window.
Right? I mean, it's your time to shine.
Clark.